kale salad. So I have about 2 pounds of green beans. What you're gonna do is cut the tops and the bottoms off of the green beans. Kale. So you're gonna take leaves of kale, broad leaves of kale. This is called, it doesn't matter what kind of kale. This is like a Tuscan kale or something like that. Don't worry about the name, just kale, and get the long leaves. And what we're gonna do is tear them and get the actual green part, the leaf. And we're gonna leave this spine. You don't want that in your kale. So you can do it by hand, you can do like this. If it's a different kind of kale and the leaves are a little bit different, you can also take a knife and just slice the leaf off of the spine. Don't worry about how much you get. I mean, it's, you know, you can get fairly close and get all the good stuff. And I don't like to do that, so. Done. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, come over here, Mr. Cameraman, Mr. Sexy cameraman, the sexiest cameraman that ever did exist. I'm gonna take the kale, I've got a pot of water boiling here, and we're gonna do what's called blanching, which means we're just gonna very briefly dip the kale in boiling hot water. And you just wanna get everything and make sure that it's completely submerged. And that is done, literally seconds. You don't want it to get too soft. In a perfect world, you should be able to still have a little bit of crunch left on that kale. Now, all this looks kind of complicated. It really isn't hard to make this kale salad. It's involved. There's a lot of steps, but all the steps are easy. Now we're gonna take that same water, we're gonna bring it back to the boil, and we're gonna throw the green beans in. While that's waiting to boil, we're gonna toast our sesame seeds. Don't skip this step. This is really important. So, you wanna come over here? I'm just gonna pour sesame seeds, or sunflower seeds, in the bottom of this pan. I've got it on high, and I'm gonna heat these sesame seeds up and get them to brown a little bit. And we'll just give that a second to finish cooking out. Now, while that's doing, I'm gonna grab one of these chicken breasts that's just come out of the Instant Pot. All right, so here's one of the chicken breasts. I'm gonna zoom in on this. Once it's here, I'm just gonna shred that chicken into little tiny pieces. Now this was, again, this is the chicken that I made out of frozen chicken breasts. So you can literally put frozen chicken breasts in that Instant Pot. 15 to 20 minutes later, you've got really gorgeous cooked chicken breasts that you can shred. You can freeze them. Once you're done shredding them, you can freeze them. I recommend waiting until you're ready to use them to shred the chicken though, because they're super easy to defrost out of the freezer one at a time in the microwave. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss the sunflower seeds a little bit. And again, kind of just waiting for these. You'll hear them and you'll smell them start to change. And it takes probably a minute total. And we're just waiting on the water to come back to the boil. This is how many green beans I have cut up to make this. And we can cut up an avocado. So the avocado makes part of the dressing for this kale salad. And you kind of just want it to be in chunks. You want it to be pretty tiny. You don't want to find giant chunks of avocado, ideally. So I cut it like that, and then I cut it sideways, crisscross pattern. And this comes out very, very, very tiny. And it blends pretty easily into the salad. So I'm hearing the sunflower seeds behind me start to crackle and pop a little bit, which means that they are ready to be turned. And the water's boiling as well. So we get both of those things done. And you can see how these sunflower seeds start to come out. So they start getting a little brown. That's what you want. And then once you hear that water boiling, you want to chunk these green beans into it. Again, we're just going to blanch them because you still want the green beans to have some texture to them. Because that's kind of what makes this salad like have a nice mouthfeel. You don't want the green beans to be super cooked or anything. I'm using this pot tonight because it's easy. Super, super, super easy. But you can also just use a regular colander. See how those green beans come out super green? See how like they turned greener, right, in that water? It's exactly what you want. Sunflower seeds are done. Sometimes the pan will still be too hot, so you're gonna need to get them out of the pan to keep them from burning. All right, let's put this salad together. Okay, so you're gonna take your green beans and kale, chunk it in the pot, shredded chicken, chunk it in the pot, avocado. Depending on how much, you can sort of eyeball the avocado, how much you want to put in. Honestly, there's no such thing as like too much or too little. You're not going to screw this up. So don't worry about specific measurements necessarily. Kind of just eyeball it. You'll make this once or twice. It'll always be good, but you'll make it a couple of times before you really figure out what ratio you like of avocado to cheese to chicken to kale to green beans. So it's kind of up to you to adjust the recipe to what you like. But it's always going to taste good, so that's the key. This is feta, regular feta crumbles that I bought at the grocery store. I eyeball this as well. I kind of just match however much avocado's in there. So that's probably plenty for right now. If I need to add more later, I can. This is sumac. This is the important spice. This is really, 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 really good stuff. And it adds a really cool pop of flavor to this salad. I think it's sumac or sumac, I don't know. I don't know how you say it. But you can find it in any spice aisle at any grocery store in Washington or in California. And this is something else, again, I don't measure it. I just add. Add. I love the flavor of this stuff. I think it's really good. So I kind of just add enough that by the time it gets mixed in with the kale, I feel like it's still gonna be tasty. All important Celtic salt. You can say about a teaspoon of Celtic salt. And toasted sesame seeds. Now, we take all of that And you're gonna toss the salad. Toss your salad. Toss your salad. Toss your salad. Toss that fucking salad. Toss, 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 toss. So, again, I've made this like 1,000 times. This is the ratio that we have generally been happier with, where we have more kale than chicken. Now, the nice thing is, this is 4 bunches of kale, by the way, so it's actually quite a lot of kale, which is usually what we prefer. And you can see there's still some chicken in here at the bottom. So it kind of just depends on how you want to do. I've got more chicken breasts over there, so if I wanted to add more chicken breasts, I could do that really quickly. I don't have more kale, so I don't want to go back to the store and have to buy more kale. So I'll generally err on the side of too much kale and not enough chicken, because it's much easier to add the chicken. Again, this is 4 bushels of kale. This should be enough to feed you for probably 3 days. You know, if you eat lunch and dinner as this, you could probably eat it for 3 days. So it's a lot of food, incredibly healthy, plenty of protein, lots of greens, good for your stomach, and that's it.